Abraham, a name synonymous with faith. He is a figure revered in many traditions, a man whose life was marked by extraordinary events and unwavering belief. His journey began in the ancient city of Ur, where he lived with his family. But Abraham was destined for something greater, something that would change the course of history. A man chosen by God. He was called to leave his homeland and venture into the unknown, guided only by his faith. This calling was not just a physical journey, but a spiritual one. A test of his devotion and trust in the divine plan. He lived in a time of idolatry, yet he chose to follow one God. This is his story. In a world filled with many gods and idols, Abraham's decision to worship a single unseen God was revolutionary. It set him apart from his contemporaries and marked the beginning of a new era in spiritual history. Abraham's life was a journey of faith. He traveled through deserts and mountains, always moving forward, always trusting in the promises made to him. His journey was not just about reaching a physical destination, but about growing in his relationship with God. He faced many challenges, but he remained devoted to God. From famine to family strife, from wars to personal sacrifices, Abraham's faith was tested in countless ways, yet he never wavered, always believing that God would fulfill his promises. His life is a testament to God's power, and it shows the importance of obedience. Abraham built altars wherever he went, marking his journey with acts of worship and devotion. These altars were symbols of his faith and his commitment to the divine covenant. Abraham's story resonates across millennia. It is a story of hope, perseverance, and the enduring power of faith. His legacy lives on in the hearts of millions, inspiring countless generations to seek a deeper connection with the divine. It speaks to the human spirit's yearning for connection. Abraham's journey is a reflection of our own spiritual quests, our own search for meaning and purpose in a vast and often challenging world. It illustrates the power of faith. Abraham's unwavering belief in God's promises is a powerful reminder of what it means to truly trust in something greater than ourselves. This is a journey into the life of a patriarch, a journey that continues to inspire and guide us, reminding us of the profound impact that one person's faith can have on the world. Abraham's story begins in Ur. This bustling city stood in ancient Mesopotamia. It was a place of comfort, but it was also steeped in idolatry. Then God called Abraham. He instructed him to leave his homeland. He was to travel to a new land. This land was Canaan. It was a land God promised to Abraham. Leaving Ur was not easy. It meant leaving family and security behind. But Abraham trusted God. He obeyed. With his wife Sarah, he set out on a journey into the unknown. God made a covenant with Abraham. This was a sacred promise. God would bless Abraham abundantly. He would become a great nation. God promised Abraham many descendants. His descendants would be like the stars in the sky. They would be as numerous as the sand on the seashore. This promise gave Abraham hope. Abraham believed God's promise. He did not waver in his faith. Even when faced with challenges, he held on to this promise. It gave him strength. It guided his path. Life in Canaan was not always easy. A severe famine struck the land. Food and water became scarce. Abraham had to make a difficult decision. He decided to journey to Egypt. In Egypt, Abraham faced new challenges. He feared for his safety. He worried that Pharaoh would take Sarah away, so he told a half-truth. He presented Sarah as his sister, not his wife. Pharaoh, captivated by Sarah's beauty, took her into his household. God intervened, protecting Sarah. Pharaoh, realizing his error, sent Abraham and Sarah away with gifts and provisions. Section 5. Birth of Isaac. A miracle and a promise fulfilled. Years passed. Abraham and Sarah still had no children. They were growing old, but God had not forgotten his promise. He announced to Abraham that Sarah would bear a son. This seemed impossible, yet Sarah conceived. They named their son Isaac. His birth was a miracle. It was a testament to God's faithfulness. Isaac's birth brought immense joy. He represented the fulfillment of God's promise. He was a symbol of hope. He was a sign that God keeps his word. Section 6. The ultimate test. Abraham's faith put to the test. God tested Abraham's faith. This was not just any test, it was the ultimate test of his devotion and trust in God. Abraham had always been a man of faith, following God's commands without question, but this time the command was almost unbearable. He asked him to sacrifice Isaac, his beloved son. Isaac, who was the embodiment of God's promise to Abraham and Sarah, was now to be offered as a sacrifice. The very thought of losing Isaac was heart-wrenching for Abraham. This was a heart-wrenching command. Abraham's heart was filled with anguish and sorrow. He had waited so long for this child, and now he was being asked to give him up. The emotional turmoil he experienced was beyond words. Isaac was the son of promise. He was the joy of Abraham and Sarah's old age, the fulfillment of God's covenant with them. Every moment with Isaac was a reminder of God's faithfulness and love. He was the answer to their prayers. For years they had longed for a child, and Isaac was the miraculous answer to those prayers. He was their pride and joy, the light of their lives. Abraham faced an agonizing choice. He was torn between his love for his son and his unwavering faith in God. The decision weighed heavily on his heart and mind. Could he obey God's command? Could he bring himself to sacrifice the son he loved so dearly? Abraham prayed for strength and guidance, seeking the courage to do what was asked of him. Could he sacrifice his beloved son? The thought of losing Isaac brought tears to his eyes. He looked at his son with sorrow, knowing the pain that lay ahead. Despite the pain, Abraham chose obedience. He lifted the knife, ready to carry out God's command. His heart was heavy, but his faith remained unshaken. He loved God above all else. Abraham's love for God surpassed even his love for his son. He trusted that God had a plan. Even if he couldn't understand it, he took Isaac to Mount Moriah. He prepared the altar. He bound Isaac. Each step was a testament to his faith and obedience. Isaac, too, showed remarkable trust in his father and in God. Just as he was about to strike, an angel stopped him. God provided a ram. At the last moment, God intervened, showing that he never intended for Isaac to be harmed. The ram was a substitute, a symbol of God's provision and mercy. It was a substitute for Isaac. Abraham's faith had been tested and proven true. He and Isaac embraced, grateful for God's mercy. The ram was sacrificed in Isaac's place, a reminder of God's faithfulness and love. Section 7. A legacy of faith, Abraham's enduring impact. Abraham's faith was unwavering. He trusted God completely. He obeyed even when it was difficult. His life is an example for all. Abraham's legacy is profound. He is known as the father of faith. His story teaches us about trusting God. It shows the importance of obedience. Abraham's journey inspires us. It reminds us that God keeps his promises. It encourages us to live lives of faith and obedience. Section 8. The father of many nations. Abraham's spiritual lineage. God's promise to Abraham extended beyond Isaac. He would be the father of many nations. This promise went beyond his biological descendants. It encompassed a spiritual lineage. Through Abraham's lineage came great prophets. Moses, who led the Israelites out of Egypt, David, the king who united Israel, and ultimately Jesus, the Messiah. Abraham's legacy lives on. It resonates through Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. He is a patriarch, a symbol of faith, and a testament to God's faithfulness. Section 9. Conclusion. Abraham's journey, an inspiration for all. Abraham's life was extraordinary. His journey began in Ur of the Chaldeans, a place of great civilization and culture. Yet he was called to leave everything behind and venture into the unknown, guided only by his faith in God's promises. It was marked by faith, obedience, and God's blessings. Abraham's unwavering trust in God led him through many trials and tribulations, from the promise of a great nation to the test of sacrificing his son Isaac. His life was a testament to the power of faith. His journey teaches us valuable lessons. It shows us the importance of trusting in a higher power, even when the path ahead is uncertain. Abraham's story is not just a historical account, it is a guide for living a life of purpose and meaning. It shows us that God calls us to step out in faith. Abraham's story is timeless. It resonates with people of all ages and backgrounds, reminding us that faith can move mountains and change the course of history. It transcends cultural and religious boundaries. Abraham is revered in Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, making his story a unifying thread in the tapestry of human spirituality. His life is a bridge that connects different faiths and cultures. It is a reminder that God honors those who trust in him. Abraham's faith was rewarded with blessings that extended far beyond his lifetime. His descendants became a great nation, fulfilling the promises made to him by God. It inspires us to live lives of purpose and faith. Abraham's journey encourages us to pursue our own paths with courage and conviction. It teaches us that with faith we can overcome any obstacle and achieve great things. Abraham, the father of faith. His legacy is a beacon of hope and inspiration for all who seek to live a life of faith and purpose. His story is a testament to the enduring power of belief and the transformative impact it can have on our lives. His journey continues to resonate. In a world filled with uncertainty and challenges, Abraham's story offers a timeless message of hope and resilience. It reminds us that no matter where we come from or what we face, faith can guide us through. May his story encourage us to walk by faith, trust in God's promises, and leave a legacy that echoes through generations. Let us be inspired by Abraham's journey to live lives of faith, purpose, and unwavering trust in the divine.